perfect balance between education and sports is one that is hard to find. Kids nowadays are starting sports at a younger age and training harder than ever before. This ultimately raises a question of how after-school sports affect students' educational lives, and to what extent. Peer pressure is a common thing in all middle schools around the world, but have you thought about how it could occur with a student athlete on the field? A study from Time magazine concluded that student athletes feel pressured to make sure athletics is their number one priority. When conducting a study, student athletes were asked how much they care about both athletics and academics on a 1 to 10 scale. They rated their interest for athletics a healthy 8.5 on average, but when asked the value they place on academics, the result was higher than 9 on average. However, when asking their teammates to guess how much their fellow athletes cared about the same two things, the athletes were close when it came to athletics, guessing an 8.8 on average. When asked to evaluate how much their teammates cared about academics, those same athletes guessed only 7.8, significantly lower than the 9+ average. When an athlete thinks that the rest of the team doesn't care about academics as much as they do, the athlete tries to fit in by pretending not to care either. This often negatively affects their test scores and overall academic performance. Kayla Entwistle, a middle school athlete, has observed this trend among her team. She shares the effects peer pressure on the field puts on her.
I obviously want to be the best that I can be at the sport that I love and spend so much time on. I think that this study is true in one way or another, because when you see your teammates taking the sport so very seriously, you obviously want to meet their expectations that they hold in place for you. You have a mindset that every time you are doing something else, like academics, you are letting down your team and the best chance that you have to win.
However, another student thinks otherwise. Middle school student athlete Michael White explains that he knows his priorities, which are education and sports.
I don't think that my teammates affect the way I look at education. In fact, I believe that athletics and education are my two priorities. And there's no way that people can change the way I perform in school because I know that I need to be focused on both to be successful in the long run. Rather, the late nights and tight schedules make it hard to make sure I put it 100% into both.
Another popular idea among many is that sports teach kids valuable life lessons that translate into their academic work. This is ranging from problem-solving skills, time management, and so on. Melissa Trainer, a grade 8 math teacher, has also seen this among her own students.
Athletes tend to be really good at shaking it off and kind of getting their head back in the game. I think that skill is really good for academics because there always is going to be a summative or some kind of presentation that you don't do as well as you want to. But if you obsess over the mistake, then you're not going to do better in the future. So I think that quality, that mindset of an athlete can translate a lot to the classroom.
In fact, the two previous student athletes that I had interviewed also state that they have learned valuable life lessons from sports, which actually do help them with their educational life.
It will help me become better organized throughout the rest of my life because now that I learn it, I can keep going with it.
It provides me with creativity and finding new ways to improve. If my shooting technique isn't working, I will change that so that I find a new way so that it does work.
So, what do you think? Should we let kids continue to play sports and hope that it will do things like teach them important life lessons? Or does it take too much time away from education and leave kids stressed out? It's up to you to decide. But for now, I'm Isabella O at Singapore American School for SAS News.